Welcome to Menopause Moguls podcast, the Elevation Talk series, with yours truly, Dr. Joyelle. I am Dr. Joyelle, the Menopause Mogul, board certified OBGYN and business coach for Black women 40 and over. And my mission is to educate, embolden, and empower Black women and other women of color in their journey through health and careers. This is a space for Black women and other women of color to share their compelling trials and tribulations in their health and or in their careers and businesses. This is where we recognize the humanity of Black women and show how Black women continue to elevate despite midlife challenges and changes. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Menopause Moguls. Oh, y'all, holiday season is here, right? This episode will drop the day before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, so I'm pretty excited. So I do have a big announcement that I'm going to announce at the end of the episode, so you have to continue listening to the end, okay? So, and before I start and forget to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I hope you are able to enjoy family, whatever you want to do, food, of course, during this holiday season. And also just want to give space to those of you who have lost loved ones, and this holiday season will be different because of that loss. I share that as well, and I just want to give you space and grace for that. So this episode, I wanted to talk about your pushing season. So I have talked about menopause being in the delivery room, and I know many of you are pregnant with something. Whether it's a business, a book, a nonprofit, there's something that you are pregnant with, right? And you're going to have to eventually push it out. But I know there are things that can prevent you from pushing, right? From pushing it out, from you delivering that. And like I said, I've talked about menopause being in the delivery room and how we are built to birth businesses, right? But we go through seasons. The growing season, I've talked about that. Go back and listen to those episodes, growing season parts 1 and part 2. And then the last episode, the laboring process, the labor pains, the laboring season. The things that we have to labor through in order to birth the business, in order to birth the book that we want to deliver. So this episode, we're going to talk about the pushing season, and being able to push the business, the book, whatever that big thing is, out of you. And I want to share with you, a quick story about myself in regards to being able to push some things out of me in these midlife years. And I know from experience, from working with clients, from talking to many women, we have things that keep us stuck, keep us held back from doing the things that we want to do. And a lot of times when we think about that big thing, or like building a business, we want to wait till everything is perfect, right? Like life has to be perfect. In your career or workplace, things have to be settled down or perfect there. I have to have all my ducks in a row before I can start building this business. All these things that we tell ourselves that we just have to wait, right? And we really don't have to wait until those things, right? We really can learn to push through, right? Push through those that need to have to wait because this ain't right, or that ain't right, or this needs to be perfect before I start pushing this thing out. We can actually learn to push through, right? And I don't mean push through in a sense that we've been conditioned to do, to, when we all broke down and just can't, just exhausted, push through then. Like, I'm not saying that. Like, I don't want you to push through then. I want you to sit down, sis. Like, take the rest. Be still. Right. So let's get that clear, because I don't want you pushing through until, you ended up in the hospital, or, the things that we do that we just, keep going. So we're so used to, to doing that, and having to also meet the expectations of those around us, whether it's our family, our colleagues, whatever those things, we tend to push through when we're exhausted and when we're just, like I said, feeling broke down. So I don't want you to push through that sense. What I'm talking about is pushing through other things that can keep us stuck, that can keep us held back, keep us in a place where we feel like we can't move into that space of building a business or writing a book, whatever that thing is. So we just, kind of stay where we are and not move. And the pushing through, I am thinking about is, the things that I'm thinking about is things like fear and discomfort and self-doubt. And I thought about the story, I'm always, in the Bible, right? And the story in Exodus about the Red Sea and how God parted the Red Sea for the people to walk through to get away from slavery and this army that was trying to attack them, right? So he parted the Red Sea. He didn't remove the Red Sea. He parted it so they can walk through and get to the other side. And thinking about that, when we are, for me, thinking about like fear just in general, I wanted fear to just completely go away, and just so I could do this big thing like build a business like I've never done before, right? And I realized that the fear is never going to go away. It's never going to go away. So you're going to have to learn to push through it. So just, thinking back to when I wanted to build a business, I'm working 9 to 5, taking care of my kids, taking care of my patients, and I wanted to build this business. I felt so uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know anything about building a business. Like, yes, I've delivered thousands of babies. Yes, I can do a hysterectomy. Yes, I can do all these things as an OBGYN, but building a business, I'm like, no, I don't know anything about that. What, I don't know. I don't have a business degree. And then my life is just, all the way crazy. Like, how am I going to do a thing like build a business, right? And I told myself, okay, well, I'll just give myself, okay, maybe I can do it in 5 years. Maybe that's a good time. And I remember speaking to someone, I think it was someone I was actually kind of thinking about using as a coach. I think it was like a discovery call, and she'd asked me about my goals and things like that. And I was like, yes, I'm going to build my business in 5 years. And she's like, what's so magical about 5 years? And I was like, I don't know. Like, why am I waiting? In my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, in 5 years, kids will be older. Things will be a little bit more settled here in the practice, and just all these things I was telling myself, and realized that like, no, like I can actually do it now. I can actually start building this business now. But I didn't get to that place until I actually sat with myself and really gave myself permission to dream more about it, and think about it actually being a reality as opposed to just a dream that is just so far, far, far away, right? So I had to sit with myself and go through the conversations with myself about, okay, building a business, what does that look like? Can I really do it? If I build it, will the people come? Will I add value? Like all these conversations that I had with myself. And I really had to learn that first, the conversations the things that I was telling myself wasn't true in regards to, I need a business degree before I start. I need to have all my ducks in a row I had to have my shit together before I start. Like none of those things were true. Learning that, and then actually seeing the value of a business that I was thinking of starting, like actually seeing the value of that. Because again, we think, we have these ideas and we kind of poo-poo it like, oh, it may be valuable. It may not be. Like, there's somebody else out there probably doing something similar and mine probably won't matter that much. And that's absolutely not true. Absolutely not true. Right. So actually seeing the value that I actually can provide and what impact I can actually have with my business. So actually seeing that, right? And also at the same time, realizing I need to live for today and not try to guess and plan and estimate how things may or may not happen or occur in 5 years or in a year, in 2 months. Like, all the things I was doing to kind of put this idea of building a business off. So I had to accept where I am today, where I was at that moment and what I already have right in my hand, instead of looking for other things outside of me, another certification, another degree, in order for me to actually start building this business. So accepting where I am and living for today and not trying to, put it off till tomorrow or 5 years. So I had to stop doing that. And, I also had to realize that I was deserving of something more despite all of the things that were happening around me, chaos in regards to, the things, taking care of kids, things that may happen in the office, and also things that's happening internally, right? This, the brain fog, some anxiety, anxious thoughts, all these things. Realizing that I want more, admitting that, like I want more and I'm deserving of more. And when I sat with all that and kind of, worked my way through all that, through discomfort and fear, because that still didn't go away when I actually wanted to start taking steps and building my business. That discomfort and fear was still there. But through that, I came to a decision that I wanted a business coach. So I hired a business coach. Through discomfort and fear, I took steps and now building a business, right? Just kind of brainstorming of what I wanted it to look like, my vision for it, actually write it down. Because I was the one that just keep everything in my head, don't write anything down. I'll just remember it. But this midlife brain and mommy brain, it don't be remembering stuff. So I start writing things down and taking small steps into what I wanted my business and the services that I provide to look like. And then I was met upon the difficulties of deciding to homeschool my kids, during this time. So I was homeschooling 3 different grades. And through all of that, at the same time worrying about my husband going out in these COVID streets because he's an essential worker. He's a doctor, so he's out there. At the same time, through all that, I was still taking steps to build my business. As I was getting close to a service, right, that I wanted to provide, I now needed to put myself out there and go onto social media. So through the feeling of inadequacy, the fear, the very much discomfort of going live on Facebook, on Instagram, through that, I pressed the live button. I still pressed it eventually. It may have taken me about 5 minutes to actually press it, but I did, right? Through the fear, through the discomfort, through the feeling of inadequacy. And eventually, after, again, more sitting with myself, asking myself those questions of what do I truly want? What do I need in this season of my life? Through the discomfort and fear, again, I decided to resign from my practice. That was also very scary, right? Now I'm like leaving my steady paycheck, my steady career job, right? And into this space of uncertainty of being a full-time entrepreneur. It was scary as hell. But through that, I made that decision, right? I made that decision. So thinking back to how was I able to push through all of that fear, all of that discomfort, truly out of my comfort zone. I had to, do some things. So number one, I gave myself permission to take care of me. Because again, so used to taking care of everybody else, the kids, the husband, the patients, family, like I was in that mode for years, right? So now shifting to a place where I really had to be intentional about taking care of me and pouring into me. And that looked like, reading, just more personal development, reading books, meditating, listening to podcasts, and also giving myself permission to just be, right? Because I was also so used to just doing, going, right? So being able to just be still and be okay with that. I think that also helped me to be able to push through the discomfort and fear. Number two, me actually seeing my value as an entrepreneur was very important in me, in very influential in my ability to step out there to, build and then launch a business. Other people saw it like, girl, this idea is awesome. It's, you're going to save lives. You're going to do all these awesome things. And I'm like, it's okay, I guess. It's all right. I guess, it's all right. But again, as I was changing my relationship with myself and having those conversations with myself, like, girl, come on now. Like, this is freaking amazing. Right? And actually seeing the value and the impact I can actually have with this business I was thinking of and believing in that. So I had to build up to that, right? I had to, again, be able to be honest with myself and know me more and know my value and know my worth as I'm entering this different territory. So seeing that was very influential in allowing me to be able to push through the fear to, actually start building and then launching a business. I also number 3, had to get comfortable with doing things afraid. Like, I was like, I'm scared. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do this other thing. I'm going to scroll social media. I'm going to find some laundry to do. I'm going to do some other things. Because again, I was thinking that, okay, if I push through fear the one time, then the next time I do a scary thing, the fear won't be there because I pushed through it the first time. And that's just not the case. Like, fear is always going to be there. That fear of failure, that fear of whatever, it's always going to be there. So I had to coach myself. I have, in addition to my business coach, to be able to do the big scary thing afraid. And being okay with, if it didn't work out like I wanted to, what have I learned from it, right? Like, what can I do differently in order to continue to move forward, instead of keeping myself stuck in, like, oh my gosh, I failed, or it didn't work out the way I wanted to, and now, the business it's burning up in flames. Like, it's like, my brain, which I know a lot of our brains, could just take us all the way left, and it really doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. So learning not to do that and being okay with just doing the big scary thing while being afraid, pushing through the fear, pushing through the discomfort. And this last thing that I had to do, it was multiple things, right? But, for this episode, this was a big one. And this was, I had to stop being self-reliant and start being God-reliant. Y'all. That's a whole nother episode, right? I needed to know all of the answers. I needed to know all the possible outcomes, all the results. What will happen? What will happen then? What will happen if I do that? I needed to be in control of everything. Like, if the link doesn't work, or if the podcast episode doesn't upload properly, I need to control everything. I needed to have clarity about everything. Like, I need to know exactly what's going to happen. And when I was in that space, I wasn't able to push through the fear and the discomfort, because it kept me in that space of, I'm not going to move until I know everything. I need to know everything. I need to, and this thing has to be perfect, and that has to look a certain way in order for me to move forward. I had to stop doing that and shift to being God reliant. And that allowed me to move and take action through the uncertainty, right? Through the unknowns, because there's so much, right? There's so much when you are building a business. And even when we're going through our menopausal transition, there still can be things that we don't know. As we're going through different symptoms and, changes, things like that, there's still things that we don't know. And when we focus on the things that we don't know, that gets us, anxious, and can make us even more afraid, and the what ifs can, like I said, can go all the way left. But if we accept the fact that we're not going to know everything, and we actually are not supposed to know everything, because God has his hand in all of this, right? Like, he is the ultimate decision maker, right? So being able to partner with him, partner with God through my journey, like, that was a game changer. That was definitely a game changer. So I wanted to share that with you, because you have your own pushing season. You have your pushing season, right? You have something to birth in these midlife years. And in order to birth, in order to deliver it, you're going to have to push through some things, push through that fear, push through the discomfort, push through the self-doubt, right? And like I said before, push through it knowing that it may come up again. It probably will come up again. It will come up again. I promise you. But it doesn't have to stop you, right? You can still keep going. You can still take small steps in building a business or writing the book or whatever that big scary thing is that you want to do. You can still keep going and take action. So being able to push through all that. And also when I talked about taking care of me and having a different relationship with myself, that also encompassed me actually being well, right? Being intentional about being well, being healthy. We talk about in pregnancy, to have a healthy baby, you have to have a healthy mom. Same thing with business. Business is your baby. You have to be healthy. You have to be well, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Like all of that matters when we are trying to build a business, as we at the same time experiencing different changes within our bodies and also outside of our bodies, with something's happening with our children, something's happening with other family members, or something's happening at our jobs, or whatever that thing is. Being able to withstand all of that and still take action and take small steps in building your business, you have to be well, you have to be healthy. So because, you have this pushing season that you go through, right? When you're trying to deliver your business in these midlife streets, I have created, this is the big announcement, okay? I have created the Midlife Business Mastery Challenge. I'm excited about this, y'all. Midlife Business Mastery Challenge. It is going to be a 3-day challenge. Black women's health during menopause, during midlife, it hasn't been a focus in medicine. And we have to, and if we don't make it our focus as we are building a business, then where does that leave us? So because I'm on this mission of empowering more Black women, more women of color over 40, who want to build businesses amidst, midlife challenges, menopausal symptoms, I created this Midlife Business Mastery 3-day challenge. And in this challenge, you are going to learn that the symptoms really don't matter. It really don't matter if you're not prioritizing you. You are going to learn how to embrace where you are now and be able to set yourself on a path to push through the self-doubt, push through the fear to accomplish this big goal of building a business. You're also going to learn the strategies necessary to build a thriving business in these midlife streets. So I created this challenge for high achieving Black women, women of color 40 and over, who want to build a service-based business, but feel like they don't know how, or feel too overwhelmed in order to start building it. This is who this challenge is for. It is a free 99 challenge, but you can upgrade to the VIP. Now, as VIP, you will get to ask your questions and get direct coaching by me on how to manage your midlife changes, symptoms, challenges, and still take bold steps in building your business. As a VIP, you also get a copy of my book, Loving Me, Myself, and Her Through Perimenopause and Beyond. And this book is packed with information on the different things you can expect in menopause, perimenopause, and beyond, and gives you some tips and strategies on how to manage through those things. So you want to be a VIP because the value from the challenge will be multiplied in the VIP session. The VIP session is going to happen on Saturday, December 5th. And I didn't even tell y'all the dates. Okay, let me go back a little bit. So the dates of this 3-day challenge is Wednesday, December 13th through Friday, December 15th. And the VIP session will be the Saturday morning from 10:30 to 12:30. The challenge will be 7 p.m. the Wednesday to Friday, 7 p.m. to 8:15. All right. So you want to be VIP. VIP, upgrade VIP is $147. Like I said, the value from the challenge will be multiplied in the VIP session because you're going to get direct coaching, ask all of your questions in order for you to take those bold steps in building a business. Because we're coming up on 2024, y'all. Someone said the other day, 6 weeks in 2024. What? 6 weeks? Like that's all we got? So we gotta step it up. Step it up. The investment, the small investment in the VIP is going to be worth it. Think of it as your very early, not that early, Christmas gift. So the link to register for the 3-day challenge will be in the show notes, will be in the notes if you're watching on YouTube. The link is drjoyelle.com/MBM challenge. So when you go to that link, you register. And we're going to set it off, y'all. We're going to get ourselves all the way together before 2024, right? Like we going to do this. I'm excited. I'm excited. And guess what? Full transparency. I've never done a challenge like this before. I've not done a challenge at all. I've been in other people's challenges, but I've never conducted my own challenge. So guess what? I'm pushing through fear in order to set it off in this challenge, y'all. So join me in this Midlife Business Mastery Challenge. You are going to learn to master your body and mind so you can build the business of your dreams in 2024. All right, the link will be in the show notes, like I said. And this is gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun. All right, y'all. So that's what I got. And until next time, sending love and light to you all. Take care.